You'll never step into your calling while clinging to your comfort. Let me say that again. Comfort is the enemy of calling. This video might be the very thing that God uses in your life to catalyze you out of your comfort zone into the calling that's on your life. Here's the reality. If your dream doesn't scare you and cost you and stretch you, it's not a calling, it's a convenience. It might be wrapped in a nice title. It might have a suit on it. Whatever it is, everybody else might affirm it. It's not a calling. Here's the reality. People who leave a mark, the ones who build, the ones who lead, the ones who liberate, the ones who make a difference in the world, and I bet the ones who've made a difference in your world. They stepped out. Maybe it was to have an uncomfortable conversation with you. Maybe it was to point something out nobody else would say. Do you know what? They stepped out of their comfort zone. And if you want clarity on your calling, I'm going to give you one simple question right here, right now. I want to write it down. This will give you all the clarity you need about your calling. What comforts today, right now, are you unwilling to lose? Whatever it is that you're unwilling to lose, to sacrifice, that's exactly where your calling stops. You know, I can say that everybody who's made a huge difference, they stepped out of their comfort zone, but let's start evaluating lives. Like, think about it. Go back to Moses, one of the greatest leaders in all of human history. Whether you believe the Bible or don't believe the Bible, Moses, one of the greatest leaders of all time. And when he's called, he was already settled in Midian. He's got a family, a job, a quiet life, no Pharaoh, not, from what we can tell, no real problems, no pressure. He got a good job. A shepherd, that's not a bad job. It just wasn't his calling. It was a comfort zone. Then God calls him out of that comfort zone, back into the very chaos he ran from at one point in his life, and he resisted at first. And usually, like pastors and stuff, that might be what you remember about sermons. They give him a hard time about that, you know, because he said, I can't speak, and I stutter, and we give him a hard time about all that stuff, but we don't give him credit because he obeyed. He stepped out of his discomfort and into his calling. If he would have chosen comfort, he would have remained a shepherd. No one would have condemned him. Everybody would have liked him because it would have made all of them comfortable too, because none of them were stepping out of their comfort zones either. See, when you step out of your comfort, you're going to face resistance. People are going to criticize you. They're not going to understand you. Here's the reality. It's because you make them uncomfortable by stepping out of your comfort zone. So if you want to be liked, you just keep staying in that comfort zone. Keep doing what all your friends are doing. But here's the reality. It's not your calling. That's a convenience. And maybe you don't believe the Bible, or maybe you're like, oh yeah, but that was a long time ago, that Moses example. Okay, just make some modern day people. How many times did, a band face rejection? How many times did, Steve Jobs, just pick a leader, Nelson Mandela. What was it like when guy ended up in jail? I think it was 27 years. J.K. Rowling, an author, she's a single mom on welfare, multiple rejections. She could have said, that's it. I just got to take care of my family, put my head down. I'll be a waitress, work at the grocery store at night, whatever it was. Keep my stories in a drawer. She didn't. Love or hate the stories. She pressed through, endured the embarrassment, the fear, the failure, the fatigue. She became a global phenom as an author. Her calling cost her comfort, but it meant her stepping into meaning. Here's the reality. The people who don't, best case scenario, they miss out. The truth is, most are utter failures, and oftentimes they're dressed in a fake success. There are so many rich losers in the world. They're empty on the inside. So many people that have achieved the title, the grades, the awards, and they're just lost and hollow people. Take the rich young ruler that came to Jesus in the Bible. He comes up to him. What do I have to do to be saved? What do I do to inherit eternal life? And then you expect, like, the way that this guy's living, like, everybody's praising him. He's got business success. He's moral. And Jesus doesn't say, hey, way to go, man. He calls him out of his comfort zone. He presses on the very thing that this guy's trusting in. He says, sell all your stuff. And then he gives the calling he gives to every person in all of human history. Come follow me. If anyone wants eternal life, you got to follow Jesus. He says to this guy, hey, this is what's stopping you from following me. Your comforts, all your wealth, sell all your stuff. Come follow me. Here's the truth. The guy wanted a calling, just not more than he wanted his comfort. He wanted eternal life, but only if it meant everybody still liked him. He still got to keep his job, wear his clothes, have all the success, be thought of as more moral than everyone else, and then he could add Jesus to the list, which is what most people do in church. And Jesus is like, no way. Sell all the stuff. Come follow me. The story ends in silence. The guy went away sad. That's the end of the story in the Bible. Hopefully something changed in his story later. I don't know. The Bible doesn't tell us. But here's the reality. You weren't meant for comfort zone. You were meant to step into discomfort. Because it's at the level of discomfort is where you start to sense and see calling. I'm not saying choose discomfort because it's fun. Like just start taking cold showers because you want to do something hard. But discomfort is necessary. The cross was not comfortable. It was not convenient, but it was necessary for your salvation, for your victory, for you to be able to experience the life that God has for you. David didn't slay Goliath from a couch. He stepped out into misunderstanding, into criticism, into his calling. Saul, he chose what felt good. He chose his comfort. He played it safe. Here's the reality. You can be liked or you can be legendary. You cannot be both. So here's the final question. What comforts do you need to crucify in order to step into your calling? Paycheck, somebody's approval, image, what is it? And if you're ready to step forward, to take the next step into your calling, I want you to put in the comment. This might even be just uncomfortable for you. I choose calling. You're making yourself known. I dare you. I choose calling. And if you're serious about taking some next steps, in the description, I've given you a PDF, a guide that you can get. And it's just called How to Build a Life That Demands Meaning. It's going to give you 5 days, 5 action steps to get you moving in the right direction of stepping into your calling. Here's what I want to encourage you to do. You're going to need a brotherhood, a sisterhood, people to walk in this with you. And you might share this video with them. Have them download the document as well. And you have to take this challenge for 5 days. And if you like this kind of content, it calls you up, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you've got thoughts about what I said, disagree, want to take the conversation further, I encourage you to write in the comments. Here's the reality. Your comfort is the enemy of your calling. And if you disagree, I'd love to hear from you. I think we're better for having had the conversation. Hopefully this information leads to our transformation.